Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. My name is Justin Wise. I'll be your host this evening, lead analyst and your mentor here at Cracking Cryptocurrency. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic evening wherever you're tuning in from. And again, hopefully the lag isn't too bad. I've done obviously what I can at all points in time. So anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We got a lot to talk about tonight, but overall, again, it is Sunday evening, so we're gonna keep it cool. We're gonna keep it easy. We do got the nice silk shirt on, but it is a little rumpled, as you can see, because it is still it's Sunday, guys. It's laundry day, so it is what it is. Let's get this popping, guys. Matt, good to see you guys. Khalil, Mr. Hutt QC, Sam B, Eli back as always. Cruz, Ed McCracken. Ed, you've been here for a while, man. Wrenched, my good man. Bitcoin Boogie and Crypto Tarzan, Xantimus Crypto, Andrew Munns, Texas Blues. Good to see you, my good friend. Eli back. Thanks so much for the $10, my good dude. He says, please take a look at Engine Coin if you can. Thanks. Enjoy your weekend. We will definitely look at Engine Coin, guys. Engine. All right. So if you guys did not catch yesterday's video, I do recommend you go do that. I talk about the Bitwise 95% volume being fake. I had quite a few opinionated opinions on that. That's the only way I can put it. Opinionated opinions. I was pretty aggressive in last night's video, pretty amped up. So it was a good one, guys. I had a really good time with you guys. So thank you if you are there. Quick little update. Scott made a pretty cool tool for the members, for the guys in the premium trading groups. Scott did make a pretty cool little tool for backing up your wallet. If you guys want to go check that out, it should be in the premium database drive. If you guys want to go check that out, it's pretty sweet. Scott just made a handy dandy little tool. Always keep in mind, guys, never give your just general cryptocurrency stuff. But again, I just want to make sure that I say it for anybody watching. Never give anybody your private key. It should be pretty clear. Never give anybody your backup keys or your backup seed wallet words. Always keep that stuff nice and safe and secure, preferably somewhere offline. It's highly safe if you never put it out anywhere online. Again, I'm I guess I've always just said, because again, I don't come from the realm of being a programmer. I've always come from the realm of being a trader and understanding things in a more traditional sense. I'm going to turn the tunes on, but just real low, soft, low key, guys. Let me know if they're distracting. But I've always come from the place of being, since I'm not a master of security, I always take the biggest strides to be more secure than is possibly necessary. So sometimes a lot of people look at me and they're like, you're being like way too paranoid about this, right? And I'm like, I don't care. I want to make sure it's safe. I kind of feel like sometimes it's like watching my grandpa like try to learn how to use Google Chrome. That's like me trying to figure out like security. So anyways, no, it's just a nice little piece of paper that you can download and back up your seeds offline. Gene, good to see you, man. It's been a while. All right. Let's see here. Let's start off the show with the normal stuff, guys. Let's go over here to news and stats. I do want to, of course, give a little bit of a tip to one of the commenters from yesterday's show. Again, we've got 10 comments from yesterday's show after I've gone ahead and filtered out some of the that WhatsApp crap that we always see like sometimes in the comment section. So anyways, just going to give a little copy paste over here, jump over here to the random comment picker. I'm going to load these comments up, pick a random winner. Tony Regaldo, what's going on, man? Says one of the best TA guys on YouTube. Just saying. Thank you very much, man. I highly appreciate that. Tony Regaldo, if you are in the Discord, send me a DM or ping me in the general chat so I do know what your Discord handle is, and I will tip you some crypto, man. Highly appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for the support. So let's get into it. We're going to have the daily candle close here in about 2 hours. But until then, until we really break down with the TA, there's some interesting tweets that I do want to go over. Because again, it's just Sunday, guys. We're going to keep it laid back, man. And Eli, I am going to, of course, get to your request, man. Just actually, we could probably start off with that, man. Let's go over here to the charts. Let's break that down. I did. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I got a lot going on, man. Oh, hey. So the video should be out, I hope, at some point in time. But Scott has received the first, I think, just about everything he needs to build the new Cracking Cryptocurrency streaming computer. So we're going to have a sweet, pimped out streaming computer. I mean, just top of the line nar for everything, guys. Appreciate the support and help in helping us build it. Because again, we know that we're not using the best machine that we possibly could to give the fastest streaming quality, to upload in the best stream quality that we can. And again, a lot of you guys have made this part of your nightly or daily routine, joining us, spending time with me to break down the markets, talk about TA. So we want to make sure that we're providing you the best quality possible. So it's been a worthy expenditure, guys. So he has got some sweet videos he sent over to me earlier. Knowing Scott, he's going to cut it into a super sweet, awesome slow mo, sci-fi fade in, fade out construction theme from the guys there at Revival Tech Repair. So pretty excited, man, to see that. I'm actually going to be driving down to see it myself personally. So let's go ahead and make sure I fix this. Merge scales onto the left. I think I got to save that. Again, we go over this like every time. There's always something new that I need to fix here in TradingView. I love them. I never had any issues until their most recent update, and then it's just been man after man after man after man after man. Bitcoin is pumping to 5K as I speak. I mean, maybe. I doubt it, but it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm well aware of that. I'm well aware of that liquidity grab to the downside off those equidistant lows, and I'm well aware of the short-term long opportunity. But I don't see anything at this point in time that would make me want to initially enter into a massive long, as I'm already in a position. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that shout out, man. But no, I haven't seen anything. And again, it's highly a possibility, man. But again, as I'm already in a position and in a trade, I can't switch based on ENJ. What am I doing trying to type in ENJ? So we're going to look at Engine Coin on. Okay, why am I having trouble here? ENJ BTC. There we go. Why I was having trouble with that. Okay, let's take a look here. We're on the 3-hour chart, but we do want to look at the 8-hour chart. We're going to have the 8-hour close here in about 2 hours, about an hour and 45 minutes, in congruence with the daily candle close. Pepe de Associate. Thanks, man. Now we'll take a look, man. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty nice liquidity grab to the downside, man. But overall, nothing has massively changed. It's pretty hard to be mega bullish when we still haven't broken resistance yet. But I definitely see it, man. I definitely saw the opportunity for a short-term long, but nothing for me to hop out of my position for. Okay, let's take a look at Engine Coin, man. Okay, so broadly speaking, there we go. Let me know, guys, if the beats are too distracting. So what do we see here on the 8-hour time frame? Well, we do got that nice little green dot of life here that's going to be confirmed on time transformation. We are below the oversold territory right here. Haven't had the confirmed crossover yet, so we haven't started seeing bullish momentum to the upside. But can we pair with that with some price action to give us some kind of indications? Of course, Wadatar is telling us that now when we look at this, when we're looking at a counter trend reversal trade, we're looking at Wadatar to confirm. We have to realize that Wadatar is going to be a trending indication. So whenever we're looking to take a counter trend reversal signal, so for example, an overbought or oversold trading condition. So when we're trading a reversal on time transformation, we have to understand that Wadatar is not going to be confirming what we're looking to take. What do we want to look for? Now we can look at other confirmation indicators, but basically when you're trading reversals, it can be tricky to insert a confirmation indicator because any other confirmation. So let's say we were to throw the RSI on here for a confirmation indicator. Well, guess what? It's going to be oversold. You know what I mean? You throw stochastic on there, it's probably going to be oversold. You might get slightly different signals, but again, the reason that I use time transformation based upon the Fisher transform is the speed and the precision at which it moves. It's the best indicator that I've found, both for trending and reversals, and it's very rare that you find an indication like that, especially now that I've coded divergence and unnatural volume into it as well as added Heikin-Ashi features. So anyways, what are we looking for an indication like Wadatar? Well, what we're looking for here is we're watching this explosion level right here. We're paying attention to this explosion level, which is congruent with the relationship between the MACD and a standard deviation of price. So similar to the upper band of the Bollinger Band, for example, right? Now, the dead level right here, which I've actually removed from this, again, full credit goes to Lazy Bear for actually designing this indicator. He didn't design it, but he did create the Pine script to be able to utilize this in Pine in TradingView. But this actually, the original Wadatar was actually created by a gentleman named Wadatar. So, and this is again, this is an indicator that should be very popular in Forex because it's a fantastic trend trading strategy that you can utilize both in cryptocurrency and Forex. But again, most people don't use it. So most people are unaware of the fantastic basket of indicators out there. And I think the reason that so many people, I think that the reason that so many people get sucked into worship at the altar of price action, which again, I've talked about the pros and the cons, because there's pros and cons, guys. There's pros and cons to worshiping at the altar of price action, which means you're only looking at price action to evaluate your trades. There's big pros and there's huge cons. So I think that finding a nice balance in between them. But the nice thing about indicators is that they tell you exactly what to do and when. And if you devise an if this then that strategy in general, I know that a lot of people cash in on indicators, but they really shouldn't. And the reason why is because most traders that I know who are consistently profitable, whether it be Forex, whether it be equity, and even cryptocurrency, the traders that have been around for a long time, man, they use indicators. The price action stuff seems really fantastic and beautiful and like really like, oh my God, like this is the way the masters trade. And some of them, yes, it is heavily skewed toward when you get into the upper echelons of looking at price action. But some of the most successful traders that I know do use indicators as well. So it's not anything that it's not anything that's decisive, guys. Real Stogger Roach, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation, my friend. It's good to see you in here, man. It's been a while, man. Hope you're not late for school as usual, man. Best in the business. Thank you so much, man. Cardano, when I get a moment. Of course, man. Let's go to the requests. Let me update the schedule, actually. So this is looking a little crazy. Cardano is already on the list of requests, so sweet. And we will type in ENJ. And let's go up here. We have not yet looked at DTC. And we have not looked at, well, there's no reason to look at the SPX, but we will glance at it again. And Ethereum. Okay, so let's go ahead, and since we're talking about Engine Coin, we'll go ahead and cross that off. All right, great. And then let's slide the schedule over. Seems like I constantly have to adjust this. So anyways, as I was saying, what we're looking for when we're looking for confirmation of the signal that time transformation has given us, because again, even as powerful as time transformation is, it helps if we don't trade it blindly, all right? And it also helps, again, the reason why I would like additional confirmation on taking a trade with time transformation is because we're only getting that little green dot of life. We're not getting the confirmed bullish crossover, which would actually be showing us that, hey, potentially we've bottomed out and now we're moving up. So now we can do something like price action analysis, since we're already getting a potential entry signal from our primary indicator. Justin, it's Sunday. There is no school. Hey, man, I don't know if there's like, after class, dude. I don't know how they do it anymore, dude. You got kids on TikTok and everything. You got 12-year-old girls dating 20-year-old dudes, man, and questionable genders all over the place. I mean, I'm 30 years old. I don't know how people do things anymore, man. These god darn kids. Anyways, so let's just zoom out and broadly see. Obviously, Engine been on a very nice tear. Let's see here. Let's do a little bit of just back analysis and see where we've come so far. LCJ, thank you so much for liking the Wadatar explosion script of mine. Anyways, long period of consolidation here on Engine Coin. Actually, we could, you could make the argument that this was consolidation and this has all been follow through. Anyways, you get a nice opportunity to rebuy in back here at the zone of liquidity. Let's see here. And then obviously we have the nice breakout. A lot of this sparked, well, I mean, you can make the argument that is price following news or is news following the price? I'm always one that would like to think that news follows the price, but whatever. I digress. Because there's been lots, if we really think about this like really strongly, guys, like there is really fantastic news about there between Engine Coin and the S10. But you would really, I would enjoy if anybody would like to do a like time dilated analysis and actually put the lines on the chart of when information was announced when and its correlation to price pumping. Because in my experience, trading the news, again, we don't trade the news here at Kraken Cryptocurrency. Why? Because it's distracting, because you never know how price will respond to a news event, whether positively or negatively or when, a news brief can come out that is very bullish for your coin, for example, and then you can do absolutely nothing for 7 days. You might want to buy at that point in time because you think it's bullish news, but then price pulls all the way back, likely hits your stop loss, and then continues to the upside. So can you pair trading the news with price action analysis? Of course you can, but I think there's lots of indications on any kind of chart that are going to tell you when to enter and exit a trade that you don't need to use that you don't need to use just trading the news for. For example, if we look here on time transformation, we do get a sell signal right here, roughly in the top of this kind of sideways, obviously uptrend when we compare it to this. But just if we just go back in time though, like this was not sideways at all to us. This was not sideways at all to us. I mean, these are significant moves in the market because you have no idea that this is coming up, right? And so you have to trade the chart that's in front of you. So all that hindsight stuff and all that, you know, again, I've just done this long enough, and I know this is such a common refrain that I hear from crypto. You know, people say like, oh man, if only I would have held on to that, or blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes, like those one-off instances where if you had gone against a disciplined strategy, you could have made like a good amount of money, which again, you know, had you been managing your risk appropriately, I mean, you have to be realistic about how large that position would have been. Everybody always likes to do that hindsight thinking and been like, oh, if I'd have just held on to that one position for a little bit longer, if I wouldn't have had my stop there at that point in time, you know, it would have came back up. All that stuff is absolutely poisonous thinking, right? And that will not lead you down the path of sustainable profiting in the realm of trading. It will not. That stuff will lead you to psychologically tear yourself apart and start making mistakes. Again, I know that this isn't sexy, guys, but if you want to be a profitable trader, you have to do an if this then that strategy, in my experience, right? That's how I've been able to do this for a long time. If this then that strategy, strict adherence to my discipline, strict adherence to my strategy. I know exactly what I'm going to do when I click a button. I know exactly when I'm going to reduce risk. I know exactly when I'm going to take profit, and I don't care if a coin pumps 50% after I take profit. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because over time, at the end of the year, my equity curve will in general be higher. My equity will have grown more than individuals who did not adhere to a disciplined strategy and got lucky a few times, because you do not know in advance how far something will go on a run for. You do not know in advance when something will turn around. You do not know there's no crystal ball in trading. All you can do is design a statistically profitable system that you can backtest and forward test in time, and then you stick to your strategy. You don't allow your stupid human emotions to deviate you from the course, because you are not as smart as the strategy that you can create, right? Because a strategy can execute on it can execute binary. You always have to be ternary. Well, maybe if this is like this, then maybe this could possibly do this and all this and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. DMs coming in hot and fast. All right. Anyways, where was I? We will look at the SPX. Yay. Jasper. Oh man. Okay, so anyways, let's go look at Engine, where we've come today. Again, so when we're looking for, broadly speaking, let's see if we would have gotten an entry indication here. Okay, so what do we have? We have a long period of consolidation. Again, we trade the 8-hour chart here, guys. We have a long period of consolidation. What we see here, we have a nice convincing candle body close. We have a close of the 8-hour. We have a close of the 8-hour candle right here on the 24th of February on high volume, on significant volume, as we can see on time transformation, getting that nice, beautiful yellow diamond, indicating that most likely this will be sustained position. Now, this is a breakout trade. When we look down here at Wadatar, would Wadatar have told us to take the trade? Yep, boom. What do we got? We got a nice green volume spike above the explosion level. That's a good to go. What do we also got over here on time transformation? We do have a bullish crossover, but not a confirmed buy signal. But we can also base that on the fact that we have hidden bullish divergence on the previous candle, confirmed Fisher crossover. Wadatar is telling us to go. We have a nice candle closing above consolidation, closing above resistance on strong volume, and a convincing candle body close. Okay, there's 5 methods. There's 5 confirmations there that you could potentially enter into a trade. You have no idea whether that's going to be a 6% trade or a 7% trade. So let's go back in time and see how I would have handled that trade. Here we are right here. So I would have taken profit on the close of this candle. I would have taken profit at 11.59. 1159. So 1159. Okay, this is when I would have taken. So let's see, where are we here? So we're talking about 5% profit, 5 or 6% profit, guys. This is where I would have taken 50% profit, right, and moved my stop loss to break even. That's where I'm going to move my stop loss to break even, and then 50% of my position could have gone on this tear. When would I have exited my position? Let's see here. Right here on this candle, we get regular bearish divergence. We get a confirmed, let's look at time transformation very closely here to see when we actually get that confirmed cross under on the 26th at 1800. On the 26th at 1800. So on the close of this candle is when I would most likely would have taken profits, or potentially on the close of this candle. Now, however you want to cut it. I know, again, you're always going to get this, man. And this, you need to get this poisonous type of thinking out of your mind, dude. Ed McCracken, broken record, icon and 0x, please and thanks. Hey, no problem, man. Thank you so much for the $5 donation, my good friend. Let's pull up in the schedule and add icon and 0x, man. ICX, ZRX. Okay. You're always going to get this kind of thinking, man, where you're like, but look, dude, you're saying you would have made 5% off that trade, and then you're saying you only would have made 70% off that trade, when you totally could have made like 120% off that trade, or maybe even 150, dude. What? Like, I don't even, like, see, I've been doing this so long, like, that I just had all that negativity, all that poisonous thinking, like, smashed out of my head a long time ago by my mentor, dude. Which is, again, what I try to do on the show here. Listen, like, let's just be real here, guys. This is a good trade. A 6% trade is a good trade. Like, I know that everybody's all hot and bothered about crypto, and everybody lives and breathes for these kind of trades right here. And I just showed you how you can capture the majority of that trade, right? Grab the meat of the trade, leave the heads and the tails for, well, that's not even true, right? Because that's one of those common sayings in trading is, you know, that's trend trading right there. It's, you know, eat the body, leave the heads and the tails, right? Now, again, I like to be a reversal trader in cryptocurrency. But that doesn't mean that I will not take a trend trading strategy. I take every signal that my indicator gives me, that my strategy gives me. Because it's not just time transformation. Again, it's a full-bodied strategy. Anyways, but broadly speaking, if we had just been trading the TT strategy, we can see that we get a buy signal right here. We get our last buy signal right here, as you can see. Nice, beautiful green triangle right there. On the 6th of February, and we don't get an indication to sell until the absolute top right there. So that would have been, let's see. So from our primary entry, that would have been, bad boy right here, would have been about 600% profit. Not bad. Congratulations to the hodlers, man. So whenever we're up, you never want to be the guy that's calling the top of a, you never want to be the dude that's calling the top in a bull market. You never want to be the guy that's calling the bottom in a bear market. I mean, I just watched, I watched other people try to do that all 2018. Didn't work out too well for them. All they really did was hurt their reputation. So I'll just trade what's in front of me, guys. Looking at the 8-hour chart. Let's see, the last time that we were really, we haven't really been oversold since, we haven't really been oversold on time transformation since back here, to be quite honest with you. I mean, not even to be quite honest with you, to be honest. We haven't been in the oversold region for a while. Now, we've been on a hell of a tear, had a lot of sit coiling from the fissure right here. As you can see, whenever the fissure looks like this, whenever it gets really jagged and pointy, I kind of get a little concerned, right? And I need to get some confirmations for what's going on. Now, the last time we had some price action like this, where we put in a level of consolidation, and then we put in a nice, we actually haven't seen that for a minute. Because as you can see here, this is kind of a classic, you know, level of consolidation and what most people want to call a stop loss on. In this last 8-hour candle, you can see that it closes on a nice hammer candle right here below support, you know, so grabbing into liquidity. Let's see, was there some decent volume on there for an 8-hour candle? No, I mean, some more significant volume than what's been around us, but not overly significant. Not even registering twice the moving average, right? Which is what actually we got here and what actually we got here. Guys, remember that it takes significant volume to begin a trend, and it takes significant volume to end a trend. So the two periods of significant volume that I see on this chart are right here, right, and then right here, right. And this does look like a classic blow off top. We even get a liquidity grab. We even get a supply and demand run, right. So we put in this nice top, and then we go slightly above it, but we're unable to close higher than it, and we actually print the sell signal on time transformation on the 8-hour chart from that same candle, and then we've just kind of entered into this slumpy sideways. I would like to say this looks bullish in general. Looking at the volume pattern, we have nothing but falling volume, as you guys can see here. Just this decline in volume right here, this declination of volume. This does, you know, again, my mind wants to go toward this looks like distribution, especially after the tear that Engine's been on. What are some levels that Engine needs to hold? Obviously, so we can delete these lines. These were previous take profit levels right here. Based off Quadrigo. So let's go ahead and delete those. Let's delete that. This level still holds as a level of support coming in around 1942. Where do we have? Let's look at the volume profile and figure out where we got support coming in right now. And we can look at some other metrics as well. Yeah, I'd feel that this is a fairly strong area. There's no reason for price to revisit that level. I wouldn't even really like price to go below that. So let's put support there. Dropping below that, we have this is an inefficiency in the market, guys. You see this huge candle right here. This is aggressive initiation. When you have price travel like a hot knife through butter through an area, through the y-axis like this, then typically that's exactly what you get on the retest. So, now, this does not necessarily have to mean that it's the end of the bull market for Engine, because again, I think some of those S10 fundamentals are pretty strong. But again, I don't base my trades around stuff like that. But again, just speaking broadly for the sake of speculation, let's put in. I'm going to put in. Actually, that's going to be weak support. I think that's actually probably likely to get chewed through, man. So that level's coming in around 4140. Again, broadly speaking, around this range right here. These previous lows. Let's see where our Ichimoku's coming in at. Do we got the Tenkan? Yeah, it's where the Kijun and the Kumo Cloud are coming in as well. So right around that area right there, around that 4140 area. We've got the Kijun San and the top of the Kumo Cloud. Broadly speaking, I think if we close down below that level, we're going to see a retest of a much lower price level because there's just nothing here. I mean, this is a very attractive short. So anybody that's, I don't think you can short Engine on Bitfinex. Again, I don't trade on Bitfinex, but again, this would be the area that I see price returning to, broadly speaking. And so it's going to have to be very broad for right now because we're not getting close to it. So, you know, for anybody that's like, oh, it's too broad of a level. I don't know, man. I'm trying to tell you that most likely price needs to retrace about 50% and hold somewhere around this area. All right, we can get a little bit more specific when price gets down there and actually forms a structure, right? Let's see here. We actually did end up closing below this level of initiation that I had talked about previously, 45.91. Trying to see how price action has either validated or invalidated that level. It seems like in general price is consolidated around it. So, okay, so interesting. All right, so broadly speaking, okay, here's what I'd want to see. To be bullish on Engine, I think you could take the chance. I don't know. Because I do have some confirmation for a short-term bullish trade. We've got the explosion level turning down, confirming that we could take a counter trend trade, and we do have that nice little green dot of death. We also have some bullish price action. Why? Because price is putting in a hammer candle below support. So a liquidity grab combined with a bullish candle, but low volume. So I'm just not certain on the follow through that we're going to get from this. Let's go down to the lower time frames and let's see. So yeah, we did get this nice oversold candle below this level of support. Let's get Ichimoku off there. Let's get all this crap off there and just look at price action. Yeah, we did get this nice oversold candle below support, but still a bearish Heikin-Ashi trend, and we really haven't had any follow through, man. So going back to that 8-hour chart, which is going to allow me to make more long-term decisions, broadly speaking, I got a couple levels of resistance coming in now. That same level of initiation that I spoke about previously. We also have the top of the value area coming in there on the VPVR. Now, again, that typically does act as resistance, but let's refine that a little bit better. Let's actually just look at the beginning of the uptrend and calculate the volume profile more effectively. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's a little bit higher, actually, where we're currently getting rejection from right now. So that level's coming in around 44.96. So in general, this just looks like a return to the point of control trade should price violate the Kijun and definitely the Kumo. So if you could, like broadly speaking, just looking at this, if you could short, if price closes below the Kijun, you'd be entering into a short. Price closing below the Kumo cloud, you would be scaling more into a short, and your take profit target would be somewhere in this vicinity, ideally a retest of the point of control down there around 2097. When can we be a little bit bullish? Well, again, I think you could be short-term bullish right now just based on that liquidity grab that we just put in. But I would be be overall, I would be longer term bearish if price is unable to get above the Tenkan-san and that has confluence with this current level of horizontal resistance, coming in right around. Actually, let me be specific with you here. So the way to do this is to go to Style and go to Precision, set this baby to 8. We've gone to plaid. We've got the gotta zoom in here. 48.54. So 48.54 is where our current level of resistance is. So it's going to be difficult for me to be bullish while we're still below that. But I think we could potentially see a short-term dive up there, just based on that price action right there. But it's not really a trade I would want to take. Anyway, so because we're currently being suppressed by the top of the value area right here. So this black line coming from the volume profile, which we can see right here, has acted as price consolidated, acted as resistance, acted as support, is now acting as resistance. So again, we're just, you play SR flips until they're invalidated. So going down to that lower time frame, I don't know, I'd like to say, it's almost like that's already played out. It's almost like we're not having any follow through. It's just like, it looks like it's just getting sold into. Yeah, and we turned bearish on the 1 hour chart back over here. Yeah, back on the 19th, we turned bearish on the 1 hour chart. So I think you could take a risky short-term long. And target that Tenkan-san, or the area of that Tenkan-san, so that 48.54, maybe 48.50 to be really conservative, or somewhere in this range. I definitely wouldn't want to be. It's risk management is where the issue is. So again, since this is not a trade I would take, I would just tell you where my stop loss would be if I had an entry signal, and that would have to wait for a bullish crossover, which is not going to come on this candle. That would be 40.56, unfortunately, and I don't really like that area that's coming in there. So it seems like too much exposure, because that's actually below where I'd want to be in, but that's below the Kijun, so you can make the argument that we've tested the Kijuns. I don't know. Honestly, it's safer just to not touch this, man. I mean, you'll be pretty bullish if you're able to get a nice close back above 48.54, or if we get a nice confirmed crossover here on the 8 hour time frame, because we haven't gotten that since back here. So it would not surprise me for price to be oversold in this area. But again, when price is ranging, you want to pay more attention to overbought, oversold signals than when price is trending strongly. So yeah, man, I think the safest thing is to do nothing with this bad boy, and getting down here below 41.43, I'd be looking to, if I could, aggressively short this. But I definitely wouldn't want to be in the trade below that, because again, you've got that huge shallow area on the volume profile right there. Now, that's not to say that price can't find a nice level of support, because that would be healthy, all right? We would like to see, again, look at this massive inefficiency in the market. I mean, these are just things that it would behoove you guys to pay attention to. These candles right here are very impressive, but almost every time you see something like this, this is like similar to a gap in equities, right? Those gaps get filled, man. That's an inefficiency in the market. Right? Price did not rise naturally. That is an inefficiency. So generally 9 times out of 10, price returns in the short term to fill that inefficiency. All right, but that would be cool. That would be bullish. If Engine were to hold a higher level of support out of its consolidation level, that would be overall bullish for the market. But you guys have to understand how these things do naturally evolve. So short term, mildly bullish, midterm and long term bearish. Crypto Guanaco, thanks so much, man. No, you know what? I don't think you can make 6% daily ROI. I think that is false advertisement, sir. So I'm going to have to ask you to not post things that are not true in the channel. Could you give me an opinion on some overbought candles on Ito charts? Darren Garish. Looking at 15-minute price action, as I always have over here on my other monitors. Yeah, ETH does look like a decent entry right now for a short-term short. I don't know if that's exactly the blow off top that I want to see. I wouldn't be surprised if it zigzags up a little bit overnight. But yeah, I mean, also this makes a whole lot of sense too, as well as just to look at this as another continuation. So if I were broadly, I mean, if I didn't have a good entry on Ethereum right now to the short side, this would be an area where I would add to my position. But again, I don't do that. I only add to my position once I'm past a take profit level. Ed McCracken says, seller hits Binance at 10 p.m. my time. Is it worth putting a small amount into or wait a few days to let a little off? Let's see. Okay, so listen, this is not a recommendation to buy or sell. Again, you guys make your own decisions. Not a financial advisor, but when it comes to seller, I'm going to do exactly what I did. I'm going to do exactly what I did with seller with BTT and Fetch AI, which is so actually that's not quite true. BTT bought right out of the gate. Fetch AI bought right out of the gate. I would have gotten a better entry had I just waited for the close of the 5 for the close of the 5 to 15 minute candle. So with seller, I'm going to wait for the close of the 15 minute candle and then probably aggressively market buy. Now, whether it works out or it doesn't, it's just a gamble, man. You roll your dice on things like these. They're just fun to do. We do them with, you know, the group's going to do it tonight or in the morning. Yeah, sorry, gotta get my timer ready. Okay, man. So that's Engine, bro. Sup? Xanthimus, good to see you, bro. Okay, so let's take a break for a minute from this. We got a lot more requests, guys, but I do want to go over here. Binance tweeting out, you know, which technical indicators do you use the most? Listen, if you guys want to laugh, man, I'll post this in the chat, dude. This is funny to see, man. This is just a pretty funny tweet storm to read. Again, I think you know where I actually quoted it like was not. Let's see here. Here we go. I think this might be the better. I don't know why it's doing that because there were like some other. Okay, maybe it was from the retweet, but anyways, this is pretty funny, guys. If you go through here and just read this, I think this one's like this one might be the funniest from Stop and Decrypt. He's like Microsoft Paint technical analysis by CNBC Fast Money, Vinny Lingham death threats, the exponential growth of Justin Suntron's follower count, XRP Army likes on Hey Dentist tweets, Professor Faustus's blocks and rage quits. And the number of times Roger Ver closes his eyes when he talks. Those are all good fundamental backings for good trades, guys. Sorry. The dwindling hash rate of both Bcash chains combined. The total number of Twitter search results for Open Finance by ETH fanboys. The number of pre-approved EOS validators. The number of times Dogecoin is pumped and dumped. Frequency of paid group leader meme attempts. Number of triangles and lines on my Twitter feed. Number of Twitter handles with price predictions in their names. Tokens available for purchase on Coinbase. The ramen to steak ratio of food in my stomach. The amount of Bitcoin ATM pictures submitted to our I'm sorry, dude. I hate just like blank reading stuff, dude, but oh man. Alles chilling grün, man. Jawohl. This is what day trading looks like a lot of the time. Anyways. Sorry, guys. All right, so that was a pretty funny one. This other one, and this is just venturing in a tinfoil hat type stuff, guys. But a tweet from Alistair Milne. Shout out to you, sir. This is a post on bitcointalk.org. $5,000 buying old mining wallets. So this gentleman named Wallet Buyer. Now, he's only posted 2 posts, right? So he's a newbie on the forum. But he posts, I am paying $5,000 for old mining wallets that mined Bitcoin. Requirements are mined coins between 2008 and 2010 inclusive. Mined at least 300 Bitcoin. Formats accepted are wallet.dat core or raw private keys. Your wallet and or private key addresses must have 0 BTC in them now. You can never use them again. Buying up to 3 wallets that meet the criteria above. You will have to sign a message as proof. I will then send half the BTC and the other half on receipt and verification of the wallet or private keys, or we use an escrow. Blah, 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 blah. I am aware of various 0 days, such as the WinRAR exploit. Please don't waste each other's time if you're a scammer. I'm not an easy mark. So the speculation is that this is Craig Wright, because Craig Wright has come out on record and said that he is Satoshi Nakamoto and that he can prove it, that he has the private keys to the Genesis to the Genesis transaction, or from the wallet that started the Genesis transaction, and I mean, he's not Satoshi. I mean, this has just been debated and crashed out and smashed out so many times, guys. But anyways, this is the speculation is that this is him or somebody on his behalf or somebody trying to pose as him or somebody trying to paint him in a bad light. Anyways, this is just kind of interesting little bubblehead speculation, guys. So I'd be interested to hear what you guys think. I'll drop the link to this tweet thread here. You guys can find the link to. You guys can find the link to the Bitcoin talk thread, I'm sure, somewhere in this tweet storm. But this is just something that came across my radar earlier, and I just, again, sometimes it's just fun to read stuff like this, man. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find a funny hint. See, now this is what I agree with the most, man. Somebody says somebody's just got to come out with proof that they're Satoshi, and they're like, no, we don't need anyone to prove they're Satoshi. The beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that there is no known creator, and that is honestly my firmest opinion. I don't want to know. People are obsessed with knowing who Satoshi is. But and again, I'm not an old man, but I've been around here long enough to understand the value of mystery and the beauty of simplicity, guys. Generally, when and I guess there's kind of two ways that you can make this omelet and two different eggs that you can crack. But in general, there are some things that are better left unknown. And I know it's going to aggravate a lot of people, but there are some things that are better left unknown. And I think when it comes to mysteries like this, it is better because who cares? Like, the nice thing, kind of like, we are Legion and everything like that, anonymous. One of the nice things is that there is no defining moment. So anybody can, philosophically, because, we can talk about Bitcoin as a tradable asset. We can talk about Bitcoin as, a financial revolution and all that stuff. But when we talk about it philosophically, when we talk about, freedom, when we talk about the ability for mankind to solve real human problems on their own, real human problems that we've had for a long time, then what's nice about not knowing who the creator of Bitcoin is that we're able to create, kind of our own ethos and our own mythos in our own mind and in our own head. And I think that is helpful for getting that really diehard, dogged belief and fervor and excitement about Bitcoin, which I think it engenders and which I think it deserves because of the revolutionary technology that it is. So, two different things, man. Two different things. And then I guess the other argument that I would probably get from programmers or from more I hope you guys understand where I'm going with this, is that no, man, we need to find out, we need to dig deep and find out the truth to everything, because once, granted, like once you dig into the twisted underbelly of stuff, you realize that it's not as beautiful as it was before, but then you've earned so much knowledge, kind of journeying to the bottom of the ocean, that now we have enough knowledge to kind of create something new. Because we've taken the time and the energy to actually dig down. We should not have our lives ruled by mystery, ruled by belief. They should be ruled by facts, logic, and truth, observable data. So anything that can be discovered should be discovered, because the very act of discovering things through the process of doing that discovery would give us enough knowledge to be able to take what we've learned and realize, well, hey, okay, we thought this was like awesome and cool and magical. We just thought this thing worked by magic. Kind of the analogy is like, people, cavemen seeing fire and then realizing like, oh shit, no, this is just combustion. It just works like that. Okay, we can figure it out. It's observable. It's technology that we can learn. So I guess there's two arguments, but I would lean more toward the first. But maybe that's just because I'm not a programmer by nature. So again, for me personally, I'll just continue to be a trader and to do what I can to support this burgeoning technology and ecosystem. And for those of you out there who have the guts, the courage, and the determination to actually, write the software of the future, I'm in your corner, man. I'm rooting for you. Just like I'm rooting for all of you to stop doing the things that are holding you back from your trading success and start doing the right things. That's why we'll continue with the show. All right. So having gone over that, guys, I don't know why I have this open. Sorry. That was not a, guys, go on over to, Cracking Cryptocurrency, or freemmo.crackingcryptocurrency.com, of course, if you guys want to participate in the MMO Pro giveaway. We did break that resistance at one point at 1,500. Trying to break that resistance at 2,000, guys. There's 42 hours left. We are giving away 25,000 MMO coin. 5 people are going to get 5,000 MMO apiece. Doesn't cost you anything to enter. You guys can click on any one of these links. You can log in using your existing social media accounts, whether that be Discord, Discus. I don't even know what Discus is, but it's on there, guys. Your email, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Just get out there and support the community, guys. It takes you a few minutes. Oh, and as an addendum to yesterday's show, if you guys do want to go over to bitcointradevolume.com, and I'll drop this in the chat. If you guys want to drop this, if you guys want to actually go and see, according to the Bitwise investment group, what the actual 24-hour volume is. Again, they are filtering. There is obviously real volume that they are filtering out, but since they're filtering out any exchanges that, according to them, are doing wash trading, this is, accordingly to them, the 24-hour volume. Now we can see that the volume today is about half of what it was yesterday. So Sunday, slow, easy, breezy Sunday. Again, looking at the last time the CME futures were updated was obviously on the 22nd. So we'll have an update for this tomorrow evening, because we're going to have to wait because the futures do open up this evening. Satoshi rhymes with Yoshi, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 7 letters. Sorry, I had to count that out on my fingers. There's 7 letters in Satoshi. 7. There are 7 points. There are seven dents in the cracks of the triangles at Giza, of the pyramids at Giza. Giza. There's 4 letters in Giza. There's a Cartoon Network character with 4 letters in their name. That means they're Thanos. Right? Don't take this stuff too far, guys. Like, it's kind of crazy, man. That's why sometimes there are mysteries that are better left unknown. Okay, so we've still got a whole lot to go through. Christian Zeladon. Yes, that is obviously the truth. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys want something really cool and interesting to watch, I came across this like last night and watched a few episodes. It's really, really good. It's on Netflix. It's called Love, Death, and Robots. It is recommended to me by a friend, and it is absolutely fantastic, dude. If you guys are looking for something to kind of have on in the background while you're doing your trading this evening, that Love, Death, and Robots, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, so let's see here. We've got about an hour left in the show. We've still got to blast through most of the technical analysis. We did go through Engine. We've got requests for Cardano, Icon, 0x. Obviously, we've got to do Bitcoin and Ethereum. Listen, guys, we're going to take a quick 2 to 3 minute break. I'm going to refuel, grab some coffee. And when I come back, we're going to start off. We're going to do Bitcoin and Ethereum kind of rapid fast, and then we're going to get to the requests, guys. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. Make sure you guys go over and to freemmo.crackingcryptocurrency during the break. Get your opportunity to win. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to figure out which way the market's moving this week, all right? All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for sticking with us through the break. Got my coffee. All right. All right, let's see here. Seems like I might have to do one of these real quick. Hopefully that makes everything work. Maybe not. Sometimes when we do come back from break, some of the funny things, some of the cool little features kind of glitch out. It's so glitchy. All stuff that will be fixed by the new streaming computer. Make sure if you guys want your computer designed by the Dream Team, revivaltechrepair.com. Okay, it's about time for some Bitcoin technical analysis, I do believe. Let's switch over here to the main. And here we are on the tether chart, guys. Here we are on the tether chart. Let's see what we got going on. All right, now we are looking at a little bit of, I don't know. Everybody's going to point to this as extremely bullish price action. We've got 58 minutes and 45 seconds until the 8-hour and the daily candle close. Let's go to the daily and just briefly glance at what the daily is doing. You know, broadly, it's not a bullish candle, guys. It's not a bullish candle unless it, again, it is a hammer candle formation. Typically, when this does occur in the middle of a ranging trend like that, I look at this as indication of which way liquidity is leaning, which is to the downside, actually. Let's look at some of our metrics on the daily. But again, you guys know that we do not trade the daily chart. We are still in the Kumo cloud, actually. So again, we've talked about this before. If we are being extremely optimistic and bullish, this currently does give us an upside price target. If you are looking to take the edge-to-edge trade for Kumo cloud breaks at around 4,820. Broadly speaking, the daily Ichimoku is bullish. Obviously, you have the Tenkan riding above the Kijun-san. You have price obviously riding above the Tenkan-san as well. So just broadly speaking, I understand the bullish argument, guys. And listen, there's nothing in the world that would make me happier than if Bitcoin were just to continue on its tear. And for my spot holdings in Bitcoin, that would work absolutely fantastic. However, let's go down to the 8-hour chart that we actually do trade here at Kraken Cryptocurrency, and let's see what we got going on. Okay, haven't received any strong indications to buy. Look, after a brief wibble wobble back above the zero line, we just crossed directly underneath. These are all indications of ranging activity, guys. Got a little bit of 8-hour bullish divergence on this candle right here. Didn't really lead to anything, guys. We crossed briefly above the zero line right here. Was not a strong indication of a trade. And thankfully, if you were using time transformation in that aspect for the trending indication, so when Fisher does cross above the zero line, from below, that is a trending indication to buy. However, we need some confirmation for that. We use Wadatar Explosion for that. On that candle, did we get any confirmation to go long? Absolutely not. In fact, it told us to go short. Looking at this, we can see that the momentum is still bearish, has been bearish since the 21st of March, according to Wadatar. And even though we're getting a slight drop off in volume, the momentum remains to the bulls. The explosion level is now remaining flat. Yeah, not strong indications to the upside. Now, going down to the very small time frames, you will see, going back here on the 15-minute chart right here, yes, you will see the short-term explosion to the upside here, guys. Hold on. Something that I was messing with right here. You will see the short-term price action movement right here. This grab for liquidity below support, just punishing anybody that was going long at this point in time, and price does move up, but we've had very little follow through, guys. Again, you guys know how I feel about trend lines and things of that nature, but just broadly speaking, look at this. This is just continuation, has been unable to break above this descending trend line that we've been trading into, and just basically gave shorts an excellent opportunity to re-enter into their position. Now, we've been short on Bitcoin since 4015 on the XBT chart. So no reason, no indication to exit that trade. Looking down at the lower time frames, I actually do see that that has actually played itself out. Very weak positioning coming in from here. And it's going to be pretty difficult to even call that a little bit overall midterm bullish. Again, short term, great long, but you got to think about this in the terms of market movers. What was the move? Is this really the move? Is this really setting up the move from 3,900 to 4,500? Or was this just another short-term move from the range right here up to here? That's a 1% movement, guys. It's a 1% movement. It's even more lucrative for the liquidity that was actually captured near the bottom. What is it? It's a full 1% movement. So in this range, that's standard fare for what you're going to get in these consolidation ranges, right? Obviously, when we go over to BitMEX, obviously you can increase that a little bit more by increasing leverage, but just broadly speaking, man, it's not that bullish, man. It's not that bullish. Let's get the lines off there and just stare at the naked chart. So what do we see here now? We're going to see confirmation of the Fisher crossing down below the zero line, and we do have confirmation for that short trade right here with Wadatar explosion, giving us bearish momentum and trading below the zero line. A nice grab for liquidity like that in a ranging market. Did it go below any significant lows? No, not really. Just punishing the longs that were longing in this range. So be pretty difficult to be bullish unless price is actually able to make it back above 4,006, which is our current level of horizontal support and resistance, but currently just on the lower time frames, getting rejection from that descending trend line that we just plotted out that's been going back since the 23rd, so a couple days ago. So just an opportunity to re-enter into shorts. Now we'll see if this does have some continuation to the upside. But again, as I talked about, as I've said for a couple days now, after this strong momentum candle to the downside, this needs to be invalidated. It has not been invalidated, guys. It has not been invalidated. We swept the local high very beautifully, continuation to the downside, and we've had a very weak retracement to around the 50% mark, the equilibrium of the range. And now we are sitting down below at the range low, near the current range low, and things are looking pretty weak, guys. We talked about this earlier. Waiting for that close below 39.50 in the realm of 39.70 to 39.50 to rescale more into my short order. But yeah, I think this will probably likely have follow through. 70% chance, as I said earlier, nothing's changed. 70% chance this does have continuation to the downside. 30% chance that we just continue on a consolidation for a while. It does seem like we are in that 30% chance right now. We'll see what the volatility of Sunday evening and Monday morning brings us. With the Asian markets open, we're about I would say, so 9 hours away from the London Open. We'll see how that plays in. Edward Park, what's going on, man? A lot of talk about Ethereum, classic. The fix is just don't go to the break screen. All right. It does seem like the, I know we've got more YouTube viewers in there. $529 people watching currently on YouTube. Cool with that. I guess we can create highlights. I should start playing around with this a little bit more. Scott, it seems like there is an option here to kind of cut highlights like we can on Twitch. That would be pretty cool. Maybe get somebody in there in the back end to cut out good ranty moments. All right, let's look at the 8-hour Shimoku. We are holding support on the 8-hour Tenkan. So again, that is also, nothing's changed since yesterday, guys. The Tenkan has not budged since yesterday. So we are looking for a close below the Tenkan in that range of 39.50, 39.75 actually. Where's the Tenkan-san coming in here on the 8-hour chart? It's coming in at 39.74. So broadly speaking, if we get that nice 8-hour close, we might get that on the 3 a.m., the next 8-hour candle close. If we get that nice close below, then a continuation of this liquidity move to the downside, then that would be the clear signal to scale more into your short. If you were just roughly trading Ichimoku, you would have a profit target of about 1.5% away, or you'd be targeting the Kijun-san about 2.5–3% away. But we don't use those for profit targets. We use ATR. So let's see, we would have to broadly be speaking on a close below the 8-hour. I think it'd probably be a little bit more volatile than that, but from 39.74, we can actually see that our short take profit right now would be 39.40. Where is that coming in right now? 39.40 is going to be pretty much synonymous with these two highs right here and a little bit below these two equidistant lows, roughly above the top of the Kijun. Since we would be entering at a lower price in the confirmation of the close below the Tenkan-san, we'd most likely be looking at something like 38.97. Do we have any confluence with that? Yeah, that's roughly the top of the Kumo cloud as well, so we'll see. Again, price entering into the Kumo cloud, should we not get support, again, most likely edge-to-edge trading down to the bottom, down to these level of lows. Again, when we talked about inefficiency in the market, I still think that we have an inefficiency in the market in this area in time. This is similar to a gap that has not been retested. This is not inefficiency in the market. This is inefficiency in the market. And again, I would like to see price return and close this inefficiency out. So still overall bearish, guys, unfortunately. Again, not unfortunately. It's just what the charts tell me. It's just the right trade to be in at this point in time. I don't see anything. Were I not already in a short trade, I don't see anything in the chart right now that in any way invalidates my trade, or were I not in a trade that would make me want to be in a new trade right now. This does not scream long to me. Either from reversal status, I don't have any reversal indications right now. I don't have any trend following in fact, I have counter long trend trading status right here, with confirmation from my secondary confirmation indicator, as well as price action analysis. Again, a lot of people might be prone to look at this as a sweep to the downside. And again, it was a nice short-term trade to the upside. But again, you were scraping for a 1% trade to the upside. All right, so getting down here to the BitMEX chart, it's going to look identical. Yeah, I don't see anything here that looks different. Looking down at those lower time frame, let's go down to the 15 minute. Yeah, overall 15 minutes bearish. You can see that we've been bearish on the daily chart, on the daily aspect since here. We had this brief surgence out of bullishness right here, but overall, yes, since that massive movement down, I'm not seeing anything to invalidate. My trade to the downside. All right, moving over to Ethereum. Starting off with the tether charts. Eight-hour time frame. This looks identical to the Bitcoin chart. We have a fresh confirmed cross to the downside below the zero line on the time transformation. We're putting in that same, little baby bitch hammer candle in a level of consolidation. I don't really like to see this. This hasn't cleared out any significant lows. In my opinion, this is just punishing these short-term longs, and again, kind of like scrapping for peanuts. Short-term, again, very, very short-term long scalp was possible on the table. Something that you could have caught had you been looking at something like tensor charts. So let's go over here and look at tensor charts. Let's actually zoom this back just a little bit. We are on the 1 minute chart. So this information is going to be free if you guys don't have a paid account right here. Let's see, right here we do see a lot of long liquidations right here. How many long liquidations do we actually see on that candle? Only about, oh, come on now, quit playing with me. I want to say 36.7 thousand long liquidations. And then over here we see about, less? 7.5 thousand. Yeah, so nothing fantastically impressive, man. Nothing fantastically impressive. Nothing indicative. When I'm seeing millions and tens of millions of liquidations, that's indicative of significant movements to the upside. This is just indications of market movers pushing current low liquidity down into the actual ranges. So kind of in tune with what that report was saying about lots of trade volume being faked. You have to keep in mind that BitMEX is a desk dealing exchange. So they're taking the opposite side of the trade against you, right? Everybody thinks that, and again, this doesn't surprise me because a lot of people in crypto do not come from a background in Forex or equity, and taking into account the two different types of brokers and how they make money, especially in Forex. So in Forex, broadly speaking, not broadly speaking, I know I say that a lot, but you have two types of brokers in Forex. You have desk dealers who are going to take the opposite side of the trade against you, and that's how they make their money, because they take the opposite side of the trade. So when you go long, you are trading against the exchange. They are going short against you. So in BitMEX, as I talk about in my premium webinar to the subscribers, there's no longs to shorts ratios on BitMEX, right? But there actually is. So that information is misleading, because the other person on the opposite side of the trade from you, they say is another person. But again, I have a strong opinion that they're just a desk dealer, man, that BitMEX is taking the opposite side of the trade, and they're just not being upfront about that. And does this mean I won't use BitMEX? No. It just means that you need to be aware of this, that when they say, oh, there's one long to one short. So really, you're going to tell me that the world is just such a perfect place, that there's just enough perfect liquidity out there, that it's absolutely just another human person like me sitting in my office taking a trade on BitMEX, that is happening, that there's just a magical limit order every time that I want to go long. And not just me, every time anybody else wants to go long or go short, that there's just a magical limit order on there to pair up against mine, and that is another human person's. It's the exchanges, all right? It's the exchanges. The exchange is taking the opposite side of the trade, and that's how they make their money, on top of charging you fees. Now, there's another type of exchange in Forex, and that's by having wide spreads, right? They're going to have wider spreads than other exchanges. So for those of you who are not familiar with Forex, when the spread that you pay is the difference between the price quoted and the price that you pay, right? So basically, you're paying a marked up price because you have to pay a spread to your broker, right? Because the broker is actually the one facilitating the trade, and you are just purchasing the contract from your broker, whether it be a CFD, whether it be a derivative contract, or whether it be actually spot asset itself, depending on what you're trading and really what your localities are. For American traders, we're not allowed to trade CFDs. We actually have a lot of restrictions put on us as far as derivatives as well. Most places, for example, most places in the United States, you can only go long on gold like 1x leverage, which is ridiculous because most places in the world you can go 100x leverage on gold, for example, which would be fantastic. But anyways, I digress. Is there an ETH chart like XBT? What chart do you use to trade Ethereum on Deribit? I don't trade on Deribit, but if I had to use a chart to trade on Deribit, it would be whatever index the Deribit exchange was pulling their index from. So I would probably be using the BitMEX index, or in fact, I'd just be using Tether, dude. I'd just be using BTC USDT. And then whatever chart that Deribit provides, I'd probably be looking at that, because again, Deribit is not on TradingView. I know that there are moves to get that incorporated into TradingView, but again, I don't trade on Deribit currently. When they do get their charts on there, I've been wanting to migrate over to Deribit just so I can trade their options contracts, but it's just not something that we've done yet. We're doing a lot under the hood here, so again, yeah, obviously, I mean, all the indications were there for a short-term bullish trade, but when you actually look at the volatility, for example, right? When you actually look at the number of liquidations here, let's go look at XBT. We're talking about 2.4 million, 440,000. So not bad, not decent, but on BitMEX, I mean, for XBT, that's not amazing. That doesn't necessarily imply that we're going to go on a 7% movement. So we'll see what happens, guys. We do see didn't I just see some shorts get stopped out? Yeah, right here. Very small amount, 9.6 thousand. Yeah, nothing dramatic. But again, I just keep my eyes on the 1 hour chart. So when I look at the 1 hour chart, here's what I see, guys. I see a big movement to the downside and a significant drop off in open interest. And I see price ranging as open interest rises. And I think this is genuine interest in the new trend, which is to the downside. All right. Price falling, open interest rising, strong trend to the downside. So short term, again, very, very short term. There was a short term bullish trade on the table, but I think the most likely scenario here for both Ethereum and XBT is to have eventual continuation to the downside. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think I actually. Hold on, let me check here. I think I might have. Let's go here and see. Low of this candle, 34.25. Of course, I can't. I don't have the VPN when I stream, so I always have to go and check manually. It's all convoluted. So sacrifices that I make to do the show, guys. But let me go look here. See. No, this is not what I want. This is the wrong page. Okay, no. All right, I don't have to worry about anything on there. Cool, looking good. Overall, I mean, I gotta be honest, man. I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. I mean, I don't have a single position open. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 positions that are open, and not one of them is red. So, I mean, I could clear out right now and be done for the... I don't even have to trade for the rest of the week. Of course, we're moving into April. Mr. Ether, what's going on, man? I am always on 5 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturdays and Sundays, my good dude. 4,200 in a few hours? Nah, 3,200. All right, so cashing out Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's glance briefly at the SPX, which is open right now on a Wanda. Now you're talking about my broker. The CFD. No, we want it on a Wanda. So the CFD on a Wanda. I'm sure it's here, man. There it is, the CFD on a Wanda. Yeah, the SPX 500 USD. Well, interesting. That's got to be a glitch, right? Thanks, William Hernandez. I highly appreciate that, man. Welcome to the family, dude. I mean, that can't be right. That's got to be a glitch in trading view software, right? I mean, the S&P 500 on a Wanda did not just flash crash down to $1. All right, so let's just take that off. I don't know really what's going on there. That's crazy, dude. I need to go verify that for myself. So I'm actually going to go log into my Wanda account on a separate browser. I'm not going to be able, obviously because I have an American account, I can't trade the S&P 500 CFD, but I should be able to look. James Collin, man, thank you so much, dude. Markets. Or commodity CFDs. Indices. US S&P 500. Yeah, the live quote right now is 2805, 2806. I don't know what's up with that, man. That's weird as heck, dude. Is anybody else seeing that, dude? If you guys pull open SPX 500 USD, which is the CFD on a Wanda, are you guys seeing that supposed flash crash? Again, I don't trade CFDs on a Wanda, man, so buy the dip. Sean Bond, man. Hope you had a good week too, man. Here's to another good one as well. Yeah, there's like a 5-point spread too. Yeah, so 2805.5. Like a 5. It's like a 5-tick spread. That's crazy. Currently quoting at 2802. Is not what I'm getting from awanda.com. Getting 2805, but this is historical, so this isn't live. That is funny, dude. K7 Jixer 1000. What's going on, my good dude? Did I see Kim.com's tweet? No, I didn't, man. He said sell all US stocks and buy gold, silver, and crypto. I've had the same opinion for a long time, man. I mean, listen, the Fed coming out and saying what they said, it's Oh, it's such a sign of weakness, dude, in the American economy. I mean, the Fed coming out and saying basically, "Oh, listen, no. It's not that. See, we're not going to raise rates. We're not going to raise rates because we're afraid of the global economy coming in. You know, there's weaknesses in the global economy, and we just don't want that to come in and mess with what we've got going on here. No, it's a weakness in the American economy that spreads to the global economy. Like, are you crazy, dude? Oh man." Now, again, I don't think. Let's actually go look at the. Let's go look at the regular SPX index. Interesting, yeah. So gap down and continuing on down below that. So, yeah, we talked about again. This is very similar to what we talked. Now, this is not open yet. The regular index is not open. So we haven't had the New York Open. That won't actually open until tomorrow. But we can. I mean, obviously, we can play the London Open. We can look at the Asian market open if we wanted to on the Hong Kong. But yeah, I mean, gold and silver's been a strong buy for a while, man. But we talked about this. I mean, the last time this is the exact same chart that we looked at because we haven't had any updated information. But I mean, we talked about that same thing. When you're playing the S&P 500, for example, we see the exact same thing here. We get a nice daily sell signal for time transformation. I understand we've gotten a lot of them here in the interim, right? We could probably adjust it to be better for the S&P 500. But broadly speaking, listen. We get that nice little bounce potential SR flip. You're going to grab all this liquidity up here. And I told everybody to be very careful while we were above this area, man. Until we really start charging up here, man, you got to be very careful about coming up to this equidistant level of support. You know, we give this nice pseudo bounce off of this support resistance flip right here, and you trap so much liquidity right here. And then to the downside, man, just moving on to the downside. And if you look at this, if you look at Wada Atar picks this up beautifully, man. Just look at this falling volume pattern on this movement up. Just very weak. And then you get to the top, man. And which way do you see volume explode? To the downside. To the downside, guys. You see it explode to the downside. Not a weakness for the bulls. And that's, I mean, this not a sign of weakness in the bears. And this doesn't surprise me, especially with the Fed coming out and being so dovish on raising interest rates, saying that absolutely no rates for 2019. They said no rate hikes for 2019, and potentially no rate hikes for 2020. I mean, this is crazy for them to be this dovish, dude. In fact, I don't think there's going to be any rate hikes for 2019. I think there might be rate cuts for 2019. I don't think there's going to be any rate cuts to get to when we get to 2020, because I think they're going to have to cut rates just for us to make it through the rest of this frickin' mess that they've got us in, man. Oh man. So again, this is why I kind of disagree. The classical argument here would be, looking at the S&P 500 would be, if the stock market is bullish, then it'll be easier for cryptos to rise, as they will be, as investors will be able to take more risk on assets, right? And it'll be harder for stocks to fall, or it'll be harder for crypto to rise if the stock market is bearish. Now, I think the stock market is bearish. Now, we'll see how this plays out over the next period of time. I've said this for a while. I think that I want to see the stock market pull back here to 2,600 and grab this liquidity right underneath these three equidistant lows, right? This is an area that I'm not seeing a lot of people pay attention to, this level of 2,600. I'd like to see a pullback and grab liquidity here, and then I'd like to see a little bit of continuation. Depending on how price reacts to that level, I don't need to wait for price to close below this low. This is an aberration, right? This is a natural fear. But again, I already talked about this on stream, how I had a little bit of a 401k left over that had primarily indice holdings, and I sold all of that right around this area right here, So we'll see how this plays out. But again, yes, short term. I mean, I've been bearish since right here, guys. I've been bearish since right here. So we'll see how this plays out. I think it's going to grab liquidity here, but again, this is where I'd like to see it grab liquidity. If we can have a nice turnaround from here, then that's good. The healthier the pullback, then the farther we can actually grow and go. Just because in the long term we're bearish doesn't mean, again, you don't want to be the fool calling the top in a bull market. You don't want to be the fool calling the bottom in a bear market. It just doesn't work out, man. Play the chart that's in front of you. And just be just short resistance, guys. Short resistance and long support, and you guys will be all right. Have proper money management. Yeah, I think we're going to grab liquidity below 2,600 before we go higher. Okay, so let's get to the request, man. Let me look at what requests we've got here. We've got Cardano. And again, this would also be, you guys know I don't trade fundamentals, but this would be a fundamentally, short signal for cryptos in the short term. If the S&P is bearish and you think that it's going to be easier for cryptos to rise with the stock market performing well, and since the stock market is unlikely to perform well in the short term, then we would be bearish on cryptos in the short term. So I am short on Cardano. I've been short on Cardano since last night. Yeah, sure, Patrick, right. So when you are, it's just like I explained with Engine, if you guys go back to that. So when you are in a healthy uptrend, and you start having like weaker and weaker and weaker and shallower pullbacks, that is actually in the midterm, that's an indication of a trend, short-term, exhausting in the short term. Now, whether it turns into a long-term trend reversal, you don't know. You never know, like, whether something's going to be short-term, midterm, or long-term, right? Those are just generalization terms that I do like to slap on things, just for the purposes of better understanding what we're talking about. But with Engine, right? So Engine needs to pull back like 50% to establish a previous level of resistance as support and clear out an inefficiency in the market to prove that it actually is in long-term bullish mode. It doesn't really matter. Like, those terms are actually probably inappropriate, like to say, because I just said the words that I just used were to prove that it's long-term bullish. That's actually, that stuff doesn't matter, right? But all I'm saying is the Engine pumped up so hard so fast, and now it seems like it's exhausting. It looks like a classic distribution pattern, that it needs to have a nice healthy pullback relative to the size that it gapped up so quick so fast, to really say that, no, man, like, long-term traders, long-term investors in Engine coin are holding on, and this thing will have sustained follow-through when we're talking about months or years, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Similar for the S&P 500. I mean, it's the best performing, it's the longest best performing asset ever. Having that nice, we had a very steep decline, and then we entered into a very pretty rapid uptrend without any pullbacks to really establish previous levels of resistance as support. All the pullbacks that we've had in the S&P have been shallow, right? To me, this kind of screams like overly aggressive buying. From those who want the stock market to be back up at its top, and now we've come back to that previous level of significant resistance, and I think we need to pull back to a healthy midline level, pull back to the range equilibrium, confirm that we are actually going to hold the bullish control zone at the upper 50% of the range, and then continue moving higher, where we can actually come back to that resistance, retest it, and break through. So looking at Cardano on the 8-hour chart, we did get the 8-hour sell signal right here. I actually impromptu entered earlier. I didn't enter this low. Actually, if we go over and look at, here we go. We can actually look at my open trades. Here's ADA M19 right here. Already hit take profit target 1, so stop losses are now at break even. We're actually tittering fairly close to that level right now. So again, might have to reevaluate and re-enter ADA M19. But again, I was able to capture that pretty nice steep stab down right there. And again, just the metrics that I had for looking at this were obviously we had a nice purple dot of death, and then I actually used price action analysis. So here's the 8-hour time frame. I saw this nice movement above this. Not again, SFP is the wrong term, but I saw this supply and demand run. I saw this grab for liquidity above a previous high, close below, and then I saw price begin moving down. So I entered into a momentum short. Price actually pulled back up close to my entry, but the stop loss was still up here. Again, this level's already been hunted, so I'm comfortable with the stop loss right here. Putting in some nice aggressive buying action right here on the 8-hour time frame. It's impossible for me to, I would not enter into a long position based off of this, because this is just overall downside ranging. I know that's a lot of aggressive buying, but still, looking at the higher time frames, just still trading within that range of movement to the downside. So let's actually go back and look at spot price. Sorry, ADA BTC. A to BTC. So again, the question you have to ask yourself is, if you didn't have access to any other information than what's currently on the screen and you weren't already in a position, would you enter a trade based off of this? Well, no, because in the 8-hour time frame, I don't see price. I don't see price pulling back to a healthy level. I don't see any reversal indications here on time transformation. Actually, momentum is trading below the explosion level, which means just lazily listing downwards to the left. If anything is going to happen here, I think most likely sideways consolidation. But we'll see if we can't get a little bit of a run back up. But again, you have to ask yourself again, what is the move? Is the move really from here to here, or was the counter trend move from here to here? All right, that's a 5% movement. You're going to see profit taking off of this. Whether or not this thing has sustained continuation to the upside really depends on. Really depends on what happens. There's no other way to put it. So I don't see anything. I don't see anything objectively to invalidate my short position or my bearish bias on Cardano, especially looking at the rest of the market. Now, I mean, look, I could be wrong, and we could be on the verge of. I mean, look, in the short term, again, just as I said earlier, things are looking a little bullish, man. We're having that nice little spike, that grab for liquidity on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, coming back up and kind of flirting with that range high right there. And again, we could have a little bit of expansion to the upside right here, but I don't see anything that fundamentally shifts my. That overall shifts my sentiments to the downside. So should, for example, I've already taken profit on ADA M19, 50% out, stop loss at break even. Should price come back up and hit my stop loss, I would at this point in time be looking for re-entries into a short position, because I don't see anything that would want to have me entering into a long position at this point in time. Let's see here. That's kind of funny, actually, that we had talked about 1666 as the upside profit target for price having a nice healthy pullback and holding this higher level of resistance at 1359, 1400 as support. So what I would like to see here is a nice healthy pullback somewhere, whether it be actually to the support or around 50% of the way to the support. But I'd like to see some sideways consolidation, some redistribution or reaccumulation is actually what I'd like to see. So I'd like to see old buyers exiting the market, which is what we're seeing right now. But I need to see new buyers entering in a sustained fashion. And reaccumulation like that takes a little bit of time. It doesn't happen aggressively and violently. And if it does happen aggressively and violently, it is not indicative of a healthy uptrend. That is actually indicative of a weakening trend, just as we talked about with the S&P 500. Let's see here. So yeah, recent sell signal from time transformation, bullish momentum dying on Wadatar explosion. We don't have the explosion level tilting down lazily yet, but I expect that will happen. Short-term bullish candle close right now on the 8-hour. Let's see, we've got 22 minutes until the daily candle closes. So again, let's go to the daily, look at its structure. Yeah, spinning top, or long-legged doji at the top of an uptrend, sign of indecision in the market. Especially we can see that indecision when we look at the 8-hour time frame. Sharp movement down followed by weak movement up, or actually aggressive buying to the upside. But whether or not this has follow through, you can't determine that at this point in time. Ooh, Snapchat's coming in. Snapchat's coming in hot. Justin, do you think mainstream media like CNN and MSNBC should be banned from YouTube after all the Mueller report fake news? Look, man, I don't want to get too political on the stream. A lot of you guys who know me a little bit more personally in the Discord know how I slant politically and how I slant philosophically. Here's what I can say. I think that how can I put this? How can I eloquently put this and capture my feelings? You got to put in the time and you've got to put in the grind to make sure that your sources of information are valid. And this is why I don't trade news. This is why I don't look at a lot of fundamental stuff, because you never know who's poisoning the well of information. But I think if you put in the time and you put in the grind to learn a lot of this stuff fundamentally yourself and find what works for you, again, really the only thing I'm focused on is trading. I'll trade whatever there is to be a tradable asset, because I know as long as human beings need to interact with commerce, that there's going to be a market. As long as there's a market, there's going to be different prices. As long as human beings are not one sentient conscious being that is kind of like wrapped up into some kind of hybrid, serialized intelligence, and we've got like insect claws and everything, and we're chitting around through space. We're just, like mass automatons. Just evolution 3.0. I know that human beings are going to disagree on those things because that's just human nature. Because we disagree, there's going to be a market, because everybody's always going to want to quibble over price, and that's how I make my living. Exploiting vulnerabilities in the market and teaching other people how to do the exact same thing. But that doesn't mean that we can't open ourselves up to. In fact, the lifestyle that I lead does allow me to open up myself to things like self-awareness, self-knowledge, seeking for truth, looking for higher meaning, things like that. That's why I support Bitcoin. That's why this show is called Cracking Cryptocurrency and not Cracking Forex. Although we have had a lot of demand for Forex trading, so looking into that. Yeah, man. I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea, but it would seem to be counterintuitive, or it would seem on its face hypocritical to say that, no, we want free and open media. That means that, well, hey, man, shouldn't the bad, or, people who are going to lie, cheat, and steal, shouldn't they be allowed to purport their news as well? And it's just, it's on everybody's burden to find the truth. Now, objectively, that's the correct answer. But speaking as a father, I can say this. If you come to my neighborhood and try to poison my children with bad ideology and destructive behavior and thoughts, we're going to have a problem. And I'm going to remove you from the neighborhood. So sometimes you have to protect those who can't protect themselves. And I think, unfortunately, kind of the society that we've created is a lot of people who can't think for themselves and can't protect themselves. So, our society depends on those who are willing or feel strongly enough about their beliefs to take action. That's all I can say. And that's true regardless of what side of the political spectrum that you lean on. Your movement is only as good as the people who are willing to do something for it. Now, the aggressive statement would be to die for it. The strength of your movement depends on those who are willing to die for the movement. And that might be true. But in general, it just means that if you guys can have the most wonderful philosophy in the world, you guys could have the most truth in the world. But this is reality. This is human life with flesh and stuff. If you don't actually get up off your ass and go out there and grind and make stuff happen, nothing's going to happen. You need to take control of your life. And I think trading is one of the few things that allows you to do that. Justin, what's my suggested method for back testing on XBTUSD? Well, I tell you my method, and that was to spend the last year and a half learning Pine and writing my own strategies in Pine. So barring that, just listen. Get something like this, bro. I still have this. This tells me I trade the 8-hour chart. So this tells me when all the candles close, at what times the 3-hour candles close that I can look for confirmation, where my first take profit is and where my stop loss is, all the time. And then I don't use it anymore. I used to have written down, when I was, again, I had it there for years, regardless of how good I got. So you can see I still have this as a memento just on my desk. But again, it tells me the 3 times a day I need to check the charts. I actually only check the charts generally twice a day, unless I have an alert pop off that I have on a different time frame, because I work and collaborate with other traders as well, which allows me to enhance my edge. But generally 11 in the morning and 7, which is when the 2 major candles close. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm generally sleeping, so I generally miss that candle close. There's always a gap in my knowledge when I wake up, but I'm able to check it about in between. So I generally wake up anywhere between 6 and 7 a.m. my time, sometimes earlier if I can't sleep. And then I work out and obviously wake my daughter up and do the morning stuff as I'm kind of listening to news and checking the charts and all this stuff. You can see my house. It's interesting to see the optimized house of a trader. Anywho, but yeah, what would also be on here is what is my strategy? What needs to be in perfect alignment for me to take a trade, either long or short? So just determine what you're here. I'll give you an example right now, and I do not recommend you use this, but this is not actually too bad. I'll throw you guys a bone right now. Now, this is not. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Remove all indicators. Okay, so go into indicators here. And check out the Arun. Now, I don't personally use this, but I have a feeling that if somebody used this that maybe looked at the markets differently than me, good things could happen. That's all I can say. So this is the Arun up and down, and we're going to change this to green and red. So this is pretty simple, man. Basically, this is a entry indicator for trending trade. And when the green, when the Arun up, which that's why I changed the colors, because the Arun up is going to be orange and the Arun down is going to be blue. So that might be you might be like, oh, well, orange should be short, and no. That's why I changed the colors. But anyways, you want to take, if the Arun up crosses above the Arun down, you're going to go long. And again, be out of the trade. If you want to use this as an exit indicator, I recommend that your exit indicator be different from your entry indicator. So ideally you should have maybe 3 indicators on you should have 4, because you should always have the ATR on your chart. So play around with those 3 things: an entry indicator, a confirmation indicator, and an exit indicator. So you're going to need to find some kind of entry indicator for Arun up and down. So let's use Ichimoku. All right. My scripts, CC Ichimoku. Okay, so we're gonna say, just create a rule. We're gonna say, okay, if the Arun crosses above the red and price is above the Tenkan, then we're gonna go long. Or you can make it more restrictive, like price has to be above the Kumo and the Arun has to go up, whatever. Or you can say like, okay, well, if the, you can flip that around. Like if the Arun is up and price crosses above the Tenkan, Kijun, Kumo, whatever, I'm going to go long. And then I recommend you always manage your risk at the same place and time. I'll give you that one for free, right? And that's using the average true range. Whatever time frame you want to trade on, set your stop loss at 1.5x ATR and take profit at 1x ATR. That's all you do. That's all you do. There's your risk management and take profits. And then as far as your exit indicator, let's use... let's use the Fisher transform. All right, so, it doesn't like, right, that's right. The traditional Fisher transform does not like, I'm going to have to write a regular Fisher transform that I could give away for free. So, so we'll just use, screw it. Let's use something that sucks. Let's use stochastic RSI. All right, and we're gonna say our exit is gonna be when the stochastic RSI crosses bearish, right? That's that's our trend exiting strategy, right? So play around with that, man. Play around with a rule like that. Now, it doesn't have to be indicators. I recommend that that's where you start, actually, and just stay away from price action until you have a simple indicator-based if this and that strategy. And then you can look to add price action analysis to that as well. But unless you have a default baseline and you're running around out there trying to be aware of all the price action and this is a stop loss hunt and this is a liquidity grab and this is what the market makers are doing, I don't I don't think that's a long-term. Don't think that's the right beginning for success. I think that is once you have a profitable strategy and then you want to up your game. Because I see a lot of people crash and burn doing that stuff, man. It looks really attractive and looks really interesting and looks really cool and is amazing when you can post those charts where you capture the tops of markets and the bottoms of down moves, or you play the range just perfectly. But again, you need to think about this as examining your equity curve at the end of the year. So anyways, yeah. Bearish on Cardano. Moving on. Sorry, guys. K7 Jixer, thanks, man. Sometimes it's Sunday evening, man. We're just trying to keep it chill, dude. Maybe I've had too much coffee, but yeah, dude. I'm definitely a tangential dude, man. Userish X. Yeah, CDT actually right now because we've had daylight savings time, but that's correct, yes. Anne-Marie Rennie says, I use Arun, it's pretty accurate. Hey, like I said, man, maybe if somebody who was a good trader but maybe looked at the markets a little bit differently than me, started using it, good things could happen. And now that I know that you're using it, I know good things are happening. Does Quadriga ATR work on 5-minute, 3-minute, and the 15-minute? It works on any time frame, dude. Stochastic RSI equals CAC. Yeah, I feel you, dude. Okay, so we got a couple more requests. We've got ICX and 0x from my dude here. Oh, by the way, shout out, guys. If you guys want to go, by the way, if you guys want to get some, again, this is not sponsored content, dude. So again, not anything like that. But anyway, Scott was playing around on blockchain.com earlier because we had to send some BTC out, and the guy, whoever we were sending it to, likes to use the blockchain.com wallet or like to use the blockchain.com block explorer and really likes it. So Scott was checking it out earlier. Apparently, if you guys go to blockchain.com and create a wallet on there, it's a web wallet now, mind you. But they also have an app. You can download it on your phone, Android IS, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, Android or iOS, whatever. If you do their KYC, you can get $25 in Stellar Lumens. So Scott did that earlier today. The wallet supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Stellar Lumens. So if you guys are interested, you can go check that out. Blockchain.com, I think it is. Okay, so looking at Icon, my good dude. I want to say that, just looking at price action without really looking at my indicators, I want to say that I'm bearish, but we'll look at my indicators and we'll see what we got going on. Well, all right, so let us just do that like price action analysis. It does seem like, listen, like listing lazily to the left. Do we see a significant grab for liquidity here? Yeah, again, a lot of the charts look the same. Like this might represent a buy the dip opportunity. We at the top, we have this nice little kind of, blow off top on high volume right here. Yeah, these are the things I don't like to see. Again, we're about to see this candle close in 8 minutes and 21 seconds. After we have a very nice bullish movement right here. Now, if this was the candle that closed above resistance, then I'd be pretty sure that this would have aggressive follow through. But then when we see a big wick on high volume right here, that's generally an indication that price will move in the opposite direction, especially when that is happening at previous resistance. So if this does end up coming back up and trading above 85.81, then I would potentially think that this might have follow through, however weak or strong that might be. All I know is that would I were to take that trade, I would be taking profits at 88.04. 88.04 is the first place that I'd be taking profits, and I would move my stop loss to break even. So should we trade above, here's 88.05, so we'll change that to 88.04. Should price start now trading above 85.81 at this point in time, I would be looking to potentially enter into a long and taking profits at 88.04. Where would I be managing my risk? Most likely at this point in time, I'd be managing my risk below this candle, or where does ATR tell me to actually manage my risk? 79.93. That's too low for me. I don't really like that risk. I don't feel that's justified. But again, if you are trading the correct position size and you're bullish on ICX, this is my strategy, man. I don't really like the way this looks. I don't really like this rejection from resistance on high volume and a non-convincing candle body close. Does not take off the table that you might have follow through on this very strong bullish candle right here. But how strong was it? Let's actually look at volume. Not that strong. This candle was almost 2x above the moving average. This candle was, though. This is an aberration candle right here. So very, very high volume compared to relative volume. And it's rejection candle. So not exactly the strongest sign of strength that I want to see. Looking at Ichimoku, okay, so you do have a case here, right? You do have price coming back up to the top of the cloud, pulling back to the Kijun for support, wicking briefly below it. But if we close above that again, might have continued follow through. But I need to see price trade above 85.81 pretty much on any time frame, and you could take that trade. Now, if you want to have less risk, less exposure, you have to go down to a lower time frame. So if we wanted to trade this on the 3-hour time frame, 3-hour time frame, we actually need to see price again trade above that 85.81. That would let us manage risk tighter around 81.94. That makes more sense to me. Managing risk around 81.94. But just broadly speaking, if I had to look at this on the 8-hour time frame right now and pick a position, I would think that this has more sell-off to the downside. But again, that's the kind of rule, because again, we also have the 8-hour Fisher crossing above the zero line, and we also have Wada Atar confirming that we can take a long trade. So statistically speaking, the odds are in our favor taking a trade in this direction. So just position size appropriately, and be that as it may. But overall, I mean, I'm not really looking to go long on many coins at this point in time. I'm looking to manage my short positions and wait for the next pivotal turn in the market. I don't see anything in here that's indicative of a trend break. This is a little bit of an aberration in volume, but just getting rejected from resistance. So until we trade above resistance, I don't really see anything here that makes me want to buy. I mean, the last buy signals that we got from TT were down here in this region and set us up beautifully for about 50 to 60% trade right there, actually. So until I get really, really mission critical buy signals like this or sell signals like this, I'm cautious, man. So looking at the end, we have conflicting information. Because we do have potential follow through on this very strong candle with high volume, breaking above resistance. But overall, we're just coming back to the EQ of the range, man. We've got our range high here, we've got our range low here, and we've got our range equilibrium right here. We're not able to break above that range equilibrium. So I mean, the only way that I can play this is putting that initiation level on there at 85, 81. If price starts trading above that, you can look to take profits at about 2.5%. And then immediately I would move my stop loss to break even. So that would be a momentum breakout trade. Not my favorite type of trade. I don't like being a breakout trader in cryptocurrency. I like being a reversal trader in cryptocurrency. Breakout trades in cryptocurrency generally get you thunked on the head with a mallet. But I digress. Sometimes they work out, man. And going to 0x, man. Let's go to that 0x. I like 0x, man. Ooh, 0x looking pretty good, man. All right, beware the Ides of March, man. Let's see here. 8-hour time transformation is giving us unnatural volume right here that we haven't seen for a while. The first, again, this is something that can fake you out because you do have a pretty long wick on this, even though you are closing above resistance. You got that kind of classic bull flag pattern right here. You're coming up to your range high level right here, and you're getting currently rejected from it. But, you know, I actually kind of like this, man. I'm not going to lie. You've got time transformation above the zero line. This looks more impressive. This looks more definitive than that previous example of icon that we were just looking at. This actually looks like it is getting some more sustained follow through. Would I want to be a buyer right here? No, absolutely not. I don't like buying range highs. But let's see how this 8-hour, not this 8-hour candle, but I'd like to see how 2 8-hour candles from now close if we're actually going to hold this level. Yeah, because we've got time transformation above the zero line, putting in unnatural volume. I don't think that this is going to close in 2 minutes. This is closing in traditional rejection. So I don't think that we just blast above resistance as we see here, the range high right here. I don't think we're going to blast above it right now. This is putting in a classic sign of rejection, but Bitcoin's price and Ethereum's price have stopped for the last pretty much 30 minutes. Let's see here. And Wada Atar is obviously confirming the high, but again, as I talked about previously, when we get these unnatural spikes in the Wada Atar, let's see, they are often always signs of short-term reversal. All right, so we can see them right here, see them right here. You know, and I plotted this out, I think on Cardano the other day. Yeah, every time you get that aberrational spike on the Wada Atar, that really high spike. And again, I'm going to have to come up with some metrics for this because I think that's absolutely a fantastic reversal indicator. I never really thought of using the Wada Atar for that. You could actually probably trade the Wada Atar as a reversal indicator itself. If we can just start figuring out, since I'm consistent on the time frame that I trade on, if I just start putting out, okay, how many multiples of the explosion level does the Wada Atar need to be to signal a reversal? What zone is, you know, so I can plot on the indicator here, I can plot a reversal zone, kind of like overbought, oversold. That would be interesting. Because you can see it here. Like, for example, when you get unnatural spikes and bearish volume, for example, right here, we get a buy signal on time transformation and concurrence, and price moves up. That's a beautiful trade, man. It's a very good trade on 0x. Look at that, about 9%. Great trade, dude. Same thing here. You get this nice little spike in Wada Atar right here. You get a sell signal on the next time transformation, and had you been able to short You got set up for 5-6% profit there. Beautiful. Yeah, this is opening up. There's all kinds of fantastic indicators and strategies out there, guys, that you probably haven't even heard of. So just get out there and grind, man. 2019, baby. Get out there and grind. Interesting. What's causing all that weirdness? All right. So okay, I gotta go here. We got a lot. Sorry guys. AKA SHSS AKA SHS1, Never Stop HD, Hyphy 24/7, Beef Finster, Tai Chi 168, Cut the Bullet, Raj Mahmad. I don't read kanji, but what's up, man? Alka 3710, Shane Abden, Gia Bohr, David Faro 2016, and Sagarius X. Guys, thank you so much for the follows on Twitch. Highly appreciate it, guys. Welcome to the community. Show some love in the chat, man. And am I missing anything on YouTube? I'm sure I probably am. Let's go over here. Let's see here. Ethan Rizzoli, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Highly appreciate it, man. Yeah, I agree with you. So we just had that 8-hour candle close a couple minutes ago, and the daily close as well. And yes, having some follow through to the downside. So I'm inclined to agree with Mr. James Collins there. I think patience is the best option for right now. I think that wait out the volatility for tonight. Again, that's kind of what we do for Sunday evening, though, is to be quite honest, is to kind of prepare for which direction the market's going to move. Again, I think that overall, I'm pretty bearish on which way the market's going to move in general for just about everything, guys. We've had really nice movement to the upside here for a while. And I think it's time for a nice, really healthy, sustained pullback. You know what I mean? All right. So it's 7:02, guys. We got to get going, man. I've got stuff to do. Got a lot to do tonight. Thank you guys so much. You're welcome, man. Thank you so much for the support, man. So let's start wrapping it up, guys. Sunday evening. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin with your host, Justin Wise. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you guys thank you to all the guys who have been subscribing and following on Twitch. Thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribing on YouTube, to everybody that's been coming by the Discord. Let's see here. I had a really interesting question. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I guess I'm always pretty good at making them up on the spot. So, question of the day. Question of the day. It's kind of been like, what do you think price is going to go up or go down? That's kind of like the general question. But what do you guys think? What tools do you use? Like I use tensor charts. What tools do you guys use to confirm your directional bias? Are you looking at coin market cap volume? Are you looking at historical volatility? Are you looking at, crypto 360? Are you looking at crypto meter? Are you looking at tensor charts? What kind of tools and techniques are you, not tools and techniques, but tools or feedbacks or websites or whatever are you guys utilizing to help confirm your trading efficiency or enhance your positional bias? I'd really be interested to know. Leave a comment in the section down below, and I will, of course, at the beginning of every show, tip a random YouTube commenter, but that's not the main reason to do it. Obviously, the main reason is to generate conversation. I do like to respond to all YouTube comments within 48 hours, and I try to respond to every Discord DM I get within 48 hours. If you guys are not part of the Discord community, make sure you guys head over to discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com and keep the conversation going in between the shows. It's as much about the community and the conversation as it is about the show. If you guys would like to trade along with me, with the rest of the traders and analysts for the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group, you would get access to my premium webinars. You would get access to our indicators and strategies, our private Discord community, and our database library. You guys can check out the link at the top of the screen, premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. I always have to think about that because we add stuff all the time, guys. So, and they're again, To the guys who are watching, the premium subscribers, you guys are, as always, the best group of guys I've ever been able to work with, and it's a pleasure to be able to wake up and work closely with you guys every day. So, and as you guys know, we're kind of crushing it right now. So, let's see here. Thomas Knudsen, I actually like his down the rabbit hole videos. I don't think that's you, but yeah, guys, we appreciate it if you smash up the likes as always, man. Head on over to Twitch if you guys would like to follow or give us a sub, man. Thank you so much, Bitcoin Boogie. I appreciate that so much. Mad Kinley, man, very good to have you in the premium group, man. Hope you're enjoying it, man. Give me a DM if you have any questions, man. So, all right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, sarcastic remarks, opinions, or death threats, comment section down below, as well as the answer to the question of the day, or drop them in the Discord, guys. You guys have been fantastic. I've been Justin Wise. Hopefully today's show has helped crack cryptocurrency for you. And until next time, guys, we'll be here tomorrow at 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Trade safely.